seems. You say it's too much to unpack, but I see you wait, and I've got your back. Talk to me, I'm that Gen X friend. No judgment here, just truth and a Walkman blend. We screamed at the world, no one replied, but we danced through it all, yeah, we survived.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome or welcome back to that Gen X Friend podcast. You know, I just heard this new intro again, and I have to give a shout out to H. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, when I first heard a song, just to share a little bit, when I first heard a song, I had to hear it a few times. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's, and you know, he put all that time into it, and energy into it. And so thanks. Before I start today, yeah, thanks to H first, but also MB Radio has a lot to do with H. So for giving me this platform, and awesome. So thank you. Thank you so much. Today's topic, I want to talk about boredom, because it seems like we have made boredom the enemy, like enemy number one, right? So that's why we're constantly holding our phones, and we can't even sit at dinner or whatever we're doing. It doesn't matter. We're constantly distracted. We're constantly picking on our phones, because for not 1 second can we not be entertained, right? And I'm guilty of it. This is how bad I am, okay? I have been known to watch a movie, to be on my phone, and something else at the same time, if it's available. So, and I wanted to talk about this because I noticed I remember a time when I wasn't like this. And I'm constantly ruminating in my mind, like, man, I would love to go back to the simpler days, without all this connectivity. But when I have the choice to not be constantly connected, I feel this uneasiness, almost like, I don't know what to do with myself. Oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? It's almost like I can't breathe, right? So, and I know I'm not the only one, because this is something that's been increasingly becoming a hot topic by media, mass media, and all kinds of scientists, researchers, how this inability for us to be bored or feel boredom or just to sit still, it is actually detrimental to our health, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about. I mean, let's go with a #MeToo thing. You bored? #MeToo. But like the title says, is it a bad thing? Is it bad? Is it bad to sit still and just not do a thing? And just let the mind wander, right? I mean, because I know this constant need, of course, this is brought on by technology. That's something that we can't ignore. This is a big thing. Many people are like, some people are when they look at their phones, that, oh, your weekly status, right? You're on you're on your phone, like your screen time is 17 point some hours. I've never had that much because I have migraines. So it's just, although I don't sleep, I just can't be on that phone. But whenever I can, I'm on my phone. I'm looking at a screen. It's either the TV, the computer, the laptop, or my phone. It's like I don't know what to do with myself if I didn't have something to look at. And I've noticed that although I feel like I'm being occupied when I'm looking at the phone or whatever screen, right? Let's just call it a screen. I feel more anxious because I'm not filling myself up with educational stuff. I'm on YouTube, right? Granted, I do watch a lot of educational stuff and I'm trying to learn things here and there, but most of it is just doom scrolling. Like, oh, I don't want to look at this. And it's just constant. I'm constantly scrolling, but I'm never clicking on anything. So, but I'm reading all the headlines. The world is gonna, aliens are coming. I think there was supposed to be a big asteroid that's however miles long was supposed to be coming, but I think they diverted it somehow. Anyways, but all kinds of stuff. The economy sucks. People are doing this. People are doing that. Look at all the hate. It's just, that's when I'm staring at a screen to not be bored. I'm being inundated, or I'm inviting this inundation of like just overwhelming bad stuff. Mostly is bad news, right? It's horrible news. It's sensationalized. Like, look at what happened over here. Look at what happened over there. Look at somebody gets blew up this and something else is happening. It's constantly, I'm not bored, but it's constantly triggering my anxiety, my distress, your cortisol, right? But also based on research, I'm not going to present any like papers or anything, but the consensus is that because we have constant connectivity and constant access, our brain has been trained, just like those experiments with mice on drugs like cocaine. That's kind of like what we're doing to ourselves because we don't want to be bored, because we're so used to now having these things constantly fill our every minute, every second of our lives if we wanted to, right? That we have lost a piece of ourselves. I remember when I was young, yes, I did become bored, but I lived in a way, how would I explain this? I wasn't born in this country. Where I came from, we didn't have electricity. Not until I was like 6 years old. We didn't have running water. Obviously, we didn't have a TV. The only thing we had in the house was a radio that I was only allowed to listen to it on Sundays. So there was a lot of time, if you think about it, just quietness, right? If you think about it now, when we're quiet and we're by ourselves and there's not constant noise, not just noise from the voices or music or whatever we're filling ourselves up with, engaging ourselves with, but just not constant noise. What did I do? I don't remember being that bored. Like right now, if I were to go back to when I was young, when I was really young, when I didn't have the electricity and all this stuff, I think I would be like crawling out of my skin because I wouldn't know what to do with myself. But when I was younger, I remember imagining things, when I was bored, right? Using my own imagination and conjuring up all these things. Like, I had dreams, I had stories in my head. I would look at the clouds and it seems, look at the clouds, look at nature, look at the grass, look at whatever. And I was able to fill my time with that. And maybe because I was younger and I didn't know any better. Of course, we were all once innocent. And some of us, some of our innocence got taken a lot sooner than others, but nonetheless, for people, I'm Gen X, obviously, based on my podcast name. We are the last generation that really grew up, that didn't have all these things available. Well, and I grew up, I didn't have any of this available. Like, when I moved to the United States, TV, I was like, oh my God, I thought I was in heaven. I didn't know what to do with myself. But we also grew up where our parents were like, go play. Don't come home until dinner time and whatever. We weren't constantly connected. We didn't have the phone with us 24/7, right? So we talked to our friends. We went and played outside. We went to the park. We did whatever it is that you did without all this connectivity. That's what we filled our days with. And it wasn't boring, right? And I do remember being bored, but even that boredom didn't feel quite as detrimental as it does today. I have to apologize, guys. I don't sleep well. I've been thinking about this boredom thing so much. And it's not an easy topic to talk. Apparently, recently, none of the stuff that I've been wanted to talk about is easy to talk about, because the sleep thing is really, really, something I need to work on. Maybe I'll just be bored today and maybe, I don't know, sleep. I have no idea. I don't know. But I can't sleep during the day either. So there you go. Sharing information. That wasn't boredom. Anyways, back to the topic. Boredom, right? Right now, from what I've gathered, is that when I fill my every second with something that quote unquote stimulates me, right? Because we get to choose whatever it is that we see streaming across our phones, every screen. It sort of gives us a sense of control, but it fills my head with so much other people's dialogue, other people's voices. And I've shared on previous podcasts before that normally I already have a lot of voices in my head, not the crazy kind. I'm going to reiterate, not the paranoid kind, but like voices of your parents, voices of your peers saying that you're dumb or whatever, voices of your parents or my parents saying that I'm dumb. Just normally, that when I fill my days with constant screen time, all the chaos that's already in my mind is even more so. So it's no wonder, even though I think I'm satiating my boredom with this constant quote unquote entertainment or whatever, I don't even know what I would call this now. It's not entertaining me. It's not making me feel better, because most of the stuff that even though it's, I do watch educational stuff, like I say, most of the stuff that comes across my screen that I'm watching like 30 seconds of, no, I don't like it. It's all sensationalist news or information or people just talking crap, right? People will say, Well, um, I've seen some influencers. What all you have to do is drink blah 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 blah, and you will lose 10 pounds in a day. I'm like, what? Why did I even click on this? That is literally melting my mind. It's mind melt, right? Maybe that's why I can't verbalize myself anymore. On top of not sleeping, I'm filling my mind with junk. I am rotting myself from the inside out. So, boredom, is it that bad? Is it? I've actually started to consciously, because I've been feeling so just out of control. Like I'm constantly reaching my phone every second, every 5 seconds. I put it down, I pick it back up, put it down, pick it back up. I feel like I'm like tethered to it. I'm handcuffed to it. So because of that and how anxious it really does make me feel, I've started recently, maybe the last month or so, to whatever I'm doing, I used to have music on or have to have something in the background on. I've now stopped it. I won't do it. I'm still guilty when I get a second free. I'm still reaching for my phone and trying to listen to something. But while I'm doing stuff, like if I'm cleaning my house, usually before I will have some music on. But now I leave things quiet because I wanted to see what would happen, right? Did I need to be entertained? Do I need it? And what I found is that while I don't feel comfortable having that space to be quiet and not fill it with somebody else's voice, what gets turned up in my mind during those quiet moments when I'm just in this world doing whatever I'm doing without inviting in external noises, that my mind first is very, very loud and it is uncomfortableness. Like, what are you doing? Oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. But if I give it 10, 15 minutes, it will quiet down enough where I can feel myself coming through. I'm not sure how many people have this experience. Maybe you're feeling the same thing, or maybe you're feeling the anxiety from being constantly connected. Maybe you're trying to also just bring a sense of, or lowering all the volumes of everything else, or just shutting it off completely, right? And seeing how that goes. Do you feel yourself coming through? Like, I've discovered that as I'm sitting in this sort of quietness without noises, I start thinking about different solutions start coming through, right? I start paying attention to more of what I'm feeling instead of trying to deny or push away these uncomfortable feelings. And frankly, being a Christian, I find that in these quiet times, I talk to God more. It's like almost having a conversation, right? Of course, nobody's talking back to me. Okay, I don't hear anything. I'll let you guys know if I do hear something. Maybe it will be an SOS, like, guys, I'm hearing stuff. But I talk in my mind. I'm not talking like I'm talking right now out loud, but in my mind, I'm actually voicing, like, man, I feel really bad today. I need some help or whatever. But as I'm talking through this, as I'm giving a voice to whatever I'm feeling, there's a sense of relief too. Not because somebody heard me. Well, God hears me, right? But I'm not pushing it away. And I feel like I'm allowing myself to process through whatever I'm going through, good, bad, or indifferent, right? And it's a different sort of, it's a feeling I haven't felt in a long, long time. It's like how people recommend, they're like, go for a walk, go outside, go sit in the forest, go hug a tree. I don't know. Go do something like that, but don't just leave everything behind, right? Leave your phone, whatever. I know a lot of people don't feel comfortable doing that also because the phone is a way to contact people or for people to contact you. But, but not have it completely fill every second of every day with noise. And just sit in the boredom. I have sat there and just kind of stared at a wall. It didn't last very long. I'm hoping that I will be able to make that last longer, but I want to sit in the boredom. I want to see what comes out. I want to see if my imagination is still there from when I was younger, right? Because we have enough of life experiences that we can imagine all kinds of things. I'm not saying go and imagine all the bad things, right? That's one of my issues. That's one of my issues. That's why I try to fill my mind with other noise, because I have the stress and anxiety that is so loud sometimes that it scares me, because I'm like all these things that can happen. I just wanted to stop, but I can't. I don't want to have to use something else outside of me to learn to control that, to manage it, right? I want to be able to sort of push past it. And I don't think it's boredom that brings up those uncomfortable feelings. I think I think it's because it is too loud. It is not quiet enough that all these fears and stress comes out, because that's all I'm looking at. I mean, most of the, like I say, the news that comes out, it is sensationalized, right? So it's meant to get our attention. It's clickbait. And so my mind is all clickbait. So no wonder. It's like a catch-22, right? At first, when you try to stop this cycle, this revolving door, like be constantly connected, and you want to sit in the quiet, I feel all of a sudden really anxious, like I'm just so uncomfortable. But I found that if I sit there and let it pass, it does. It decreases. I'm not saying it's comfortable, but it does decrease little by little. And as each day I choose to be quiet and not have the screens constantly fill my life up, I found that I can sit in the quiet a little bit longer. And sometimes it feels really, really nice for just that 1 second. I'm not talking about meditation. I to share honestly, I can't do meditation because my mind is so loud, right? I'm constantly meditating, but the point of meditation is not to quiet all these things, from as far as I learned, because your mind will always be doing something. Meditation is being okay with it. So right now, I want to be okay with boredom. What a topic. Is this boring? Maybe it's good. Let my podcast bore you, and let your own mind come through, right? It's funny because I'm talking about this and talking about need to disconnect via a podcast that you're listening to. Well, if it helps you not to listen, then great, right? If it helps you to disconnect, then great. The whole point of any podcast, any topic I choose is to hopefully help somebody, help myself, right? To improve my life. So if this hit not a nerve, if this, you're like, I didn't think of it that way. I know it was a little convoluted. I apologize. Maybe turn it off. Maybe that's why. Maybe I designed it this way so you so you would turn it off. But yeah, go back to the day when, you know, you sat there in your room and you dreamed about your future, and when you saw the light streaming through your window, you saw flowers or animals, and you had a whole movie in your head about just how the light was shining through your room, right? Only in the quiet, only when we're not filling our lives with everybody else's voice, can our own imagination, can our own creativity shine through. And I really think that the idea of boredom got a really bad name. Not because I think many of the inventions of life, the things that we enjoy today, came from when all the world was quiet and all you can do, all somebody could do was to think and to dream of things that could be, right? And they sat there and they thought about it. And it was all because the quietness gave room for creativity. And some people call it boredom, right? But some people call it peace. Some people call it that the fuel. It's like air, right? When you fill the air with all kinds of pollution, you can't breathe. But when you clear the air, it's like taking a full breath, and you come alive, and it awakens something inside you. So bored, #me too. But I don't think it's a bad thing. And I want to test it out. I'm willing to test it out. I'm beginning to test it out more and more. I do sit there sometimes just trying to be quiet, trying not to reach for my phone, and it's really hard. I may not be using drugs, but I swear this is like worse than crack. I can, hi, you know, I am, what is it? It's not Alcoholics Anonymous. It would be Screen Time Anonymous. Hi, you know, I am not only a member, I am the president. I am that addicted. So this isn't easy. But man, I think when I reminisce about the good old days and the simpler times, it's because my body is longing for this, to disconnect, to unplug, right? We can use it for the benefits. Technology and modern amenities are good if we don't let it control us, if we don't let it remove ourselves from ourselves and fill ourselves with every other person's crazy, the noise, the crazy of the world. I think we all have so much creativity and so much innovation within each of us. But because, I mean, it's designed this way, I'm pretty sure the powers to be, all those people out there, this is a way to control people. If you fill their time up with useless stuff, and then people don't have time to go innovate or to create. And only certain people will have that opportunity. Like most tech giants, like Facebook or all those people, they have shared on the news. They're like, we won't let our children have this because it's detrimental. So if it's coming from these creators who created these things, I think we should let that give us a clue. I'm doing this too. This is hard. Hashtag me too. Like, I want to reach for my phone right now. That's how uncomfortable I feel. But man, take 5 minutes. Take a minute and see what it feels like. See what your quiet can bring you. See how alive you are inside, clearing out everybody else away. Yeah. I don't think quiet is boredom. And even if it's boredom, I don't think it's all that bad. What do you guys think? I'm trying to quit this addiction. And hopefully you guys will join in too. And if that means you're not listening, or if this podcast inspired you to unplug, then good. Because that's the whole point. I want to help. If that means not listening to me, it helps. Good. Because really, if it helps somebody clear out their mind or quiet the noise, quiet the crazy, then it was all worth it. Yeah. So go out there. Go be bored. Go be in the quiet. Go find yourself. Go find your creativity, your innovation. It's there. It's there. Maybe the powers to be made this boredom sound so bad to us that it's a great way to control us, no? Conspiracy theories too, right? Look at all this quiet, all the things that come up. So if you remember a time when you just sat outside and listened to the wind, listen to the squirrels climb up the trees, listen to the birds, and you felt at peace, go and find that again. I'm going to try that today. I'm going to try that every day. I've been trying that every day. So until next time, 2 weeks from now, I do pray for you guys. Yeah, I hope you guys have a blessed day filled with peace. And until then, you have a great 2 weeks. All right? Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.